can't believe people voluntarily do this.
This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto, and all the talk in Toronto right now is what the Leafs should do about William Nylander. Let's start with the Leafs cap situation. It's currently a bit wonky as they're about $8 million over the cap, and Ilya Samsonov still needs a contract. The options though to get around that are plentiful. You could trade Brody, or maybe put Muzzin or Murray on LTIR. And then there's the crazy option, which would be trade Nylander, not just for cap reasons though. Reports are that the two sides are not close on a contract extension. Nylander reportedly wants to be a double-digit AAV guy, with the Leafs seeing him just below that. Now those reports, whether true or not, have opened up a pretty interesting discourse. Does Nylander deserve that kind of money? Right now there are 13 players, not including goalies, with a cap hit of $10 million or more. 3 of those guys already being Leafs forwards. 11 of the 13 players are forwards, and when you look at the names, most make sense. But when looking at Nylander though, he doesn't quite fit the mold of those other stars. At least not yet. Last season was Willie's best with his first 40-goal season, but he's still yet to hit 90 points in a season. That said, over the last 4 seasons, only 12 players have scored more goals than Nylander, and 5 of them have a cap hit that's double digits. At the age of 27, Nylander is in his prime right now. And part of the argument in paying him $10+ million is that the cap is going up next year. Plus, if you were to look at his upcoming free agent class, we could see a lot of other guys hit that $10 million or more number, as Matthews, Aho, Pettersson, and Dahlin all could potentially hit the market. And then the year after, it's Draisaitl and Rantanen. So Nylander probably deserves $10 million or more per year, and the ask isn't that crazy. But given the way the Leafs are structured right now, and with an Austin Matthews extension looming, they just might not be the team who's able to give that to him. And that honestly breaks my heart a little bit because I love William Nylander. I'm a William Nylander stan and fan, okay? I'm not one of those guys on Twitter with the sunglasses going off about Nylander. I'm not your uncle. You know what I'm saying? I think he does great things. He was the one showing up in the playoffs. I don't know if you remember. Another day has passed and there's still no trade for Damian Lillard or James Harden. So we thought we'd bring back a digital Sportscentre staple. Because every time we have one of these long, drawn-out contract or trade scenarios, it's time to bring out the watch. That's right, it's time for a Lillard watch, which I guess is an extra special meeting because it's always Dame time. It's now been 4 days since Dame officially requested a trade from the Blazers. And the last 2 days have been quiet. Too quiet. But according to ESPN's Tim Bontemps, it could stay this way for a while.
I think we're in for a bit of a wait, and I think that's because we are on Portland Blazers time, Trailblazers time, right? You look at this situation, there's no trade deadline coming up. There's no reason for Portland to rush this thing. As we've talked about all week long, obviously Dame wants to be in Miami. If the Blazers like what Miami had, this deal would be done already, right? Obviously they don't. You're talking about trying to put together 3- and 4-team trades. You're trying to figure out a way for Portland to get enough of a package back to be anywhere close to the deals we've seen for guys like Kevin Durant, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. Deals that frankly just aren't out there right now. All that adds up to, I think, this taking a little while for it to play out.
But as this thing continues to drag, could we see more suitors enter the fray? Here's Bontemps once again.
The longer this goes, the more it could be like Donovan Mitchell last summer, where you have a team swoop in and get this deal done. Because the Heat, as we keep saying it, if Dame wants to be there and Portland wants to trade him, there's a reason it hasn't happened yet.
How bad is the offer from the Heat? Why don't we have more teams in there? How about 6? How about 7? Wait, what did I just see? Time now for my favorite segment and yours, Why We Love Sports Today.
Why we love sports today.
And this video deserves several more looks. Because my guy's on rollerblades and then uses the ramp to pick up the proper speed to throw down this absolutely filthy dunk. Okay. These, ooh, dang. He makes it look so easy though, which is the thing. Damn. I love the setup, the jump, the vert. This guy's got some air. I love this. He's got no fear. Next up, we got this little girl trying her best to knock down some bowling pins. So like almost the same as the first video. Oh, ooh, oopsies. You know, surprisingly, that's also what I look like when I bowl. To baseball, and Alek Manoah's stint in the minors has come to an end, thank goodness, because he was sitting on the bench of my fantasy team. Don't worry, more on that later. But Manoah will be back with the Jays starting Friday against the Tigers. Manoah was sent down in early June, and after a very rocky outing against a team of mostly teenagers in the Florida Complex League, he looked like himself this past weekend in AA. Getting the start for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, Manoah went 5 innings, giving up 1 run, with 3 hits, 3 walks, while striking out 10. To say it's been a rough go this season for Manoah is an understatement. He finished 3rd in the AL Cy Young voting last year, and many expected him to make a run for the award this season. Instead, he's 1-7 with a 6.36 ERA and 1.90 WHIP. But we'll try to get his season back on track Friday against the Tigers, and I guess the question for me remains, do I take him off the bench for the start, or do I wait? I think so too. I think I'm just gonna have faith. I'm just gonna toss him in there. See what he does. Now joined by our WNBA analyst, Tamika Nurse, who's making her digital Sportscentre debut. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Okay, the Liberty are 11-4 and have the second best record in the WNBA. They're plus 230 to win the title on FanDuel, with the Las Vegas Aces at minus 220. Is the gap between these two teams really that big?
At the beginning of the year, I would have said no. I think the Las Vegas Aces have a lot of talent, but I was nervous on how they were going to share the ball. There's a lot of scorers on that team, and I thought that the New York Liberty were just built better. They had a really good player in each position. But having come halfway through the season now and seeing how the Las Vegas Aces have actually put it together, they're playing phenomenal basketball. They're sharing. They're playing humble. I do think that the gap is a little bit bigger than maybe those stats say.
Outside of those two teams, is there any other team you think has a shot to contend for the title?
Truth be told, not really. But I think you have a team like the Connecticut Sun, very talented, tough-nosed defense. I think they have the ability to upset either one of those teams. But in a multi-game series, I think you're looking at Las Vegas and New York.
Tamika Nurse, thank you so much for joining us. We cannot wait to have you back.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Speaking of the New York Liberty, you can watch them tonight on TSN as they take on the Phoenix Mercury. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. That's over today with Sarah Booker tomorrow at 3 Eastern, no Pacific. Have a good one.